Nervous start.
Well, we saw one thing straight away. He's going to serve a volley. At least if he gets good serving, he's going to come in immediately behind it. I think that's so.
It's not bad for the second point, 127 miles per hour. Agassi incidentally won the toss, elected to receive, hoping to break first game.
Whoops.
That point showed lack of imagination on Todd Martin's part, taking the easy option cross court. Full of imagination on Agassi's part.
Whole match summed up there, I think, in terms of tactics, don't you?
Yep.
30. First serve.
The first break point.
30. 40.
Well, you just have to marvel at the guy's hand-eye coordination there.
And Agassi taking just about 2 minutes to strike. 30 love up, seemed to be going really well. Well, I repeat, the whole match somehow has crystallized, I think, in those few points. Agassi gets a break right at the start, leads 1 love.
This shot, which was slightly better than he meant, played too far from the body, stopped a run of 5 points to Agassi.
Two-handed backhand has weight. He's got good control of that.
50. 30.
And I think particularly on the service return, that's going to be a very important shot. Certainly not as quick as Agassi. You can see it from the way he tried to get to that. That's just what a scene. The biggest tennis stadium in the world. Something too big.
That was a great serve. Had a load of slice on it, and it hit the line.
Well, it's early and it's difficult to chance your arm on returns of serve right at the start of a match, particularly a Grand Slam final, but I would say that Martin has to get his returns going. He has to be more aggressive, has to take more risks. He's not going to beat Agassi from the back of the court.
He's not, as long as Agassi feeds him lots of backhands. Agassi's got to pepper that forehand where mistakes can and will come. Just about a perfect shot here. The off forehand plopped on the right on the tee virtually.
Martin, to reach the final, has served 105 aces. That compares with Agassi's 61.
A little bit impetuous, this.
I can understand why Martin on that previous point wanted to get the ball put away as quickly as possible. He doesn't want to give Agassi a second shot, but that's a better game there by Martin, who leads 2-1. Well, Agassi's got the break. It's the worst possible start for Martin, because Agassi broke him right at the start. This is 2-1. Now, there's a sniff of a chance for Martin to get back. He needs to do that. He needs to do it early on. Yes.
Well, there was very little that Agassi could do here except drive it more or less at the man, and to his credit, slight miss hit, but Martin dug it back. He's had his chances in this game, is Martin, and he really hasn't been confident enough, I think,
or willing enough to risk. Certainly didn't play them well. And now he's paying a penalty for that. Up 40 it was.
That's the serve against this man that's going to win points. Wide to the forehand.
Pretty vital game, this one, for so early in the match. Agassi completely single-minded, knew exactly what he was going to attack. The target was wide, reaching for Martin to the backhand, and in the end, on the third attempt, Agassi got it. It's his second game point to go 3-1 up. That's two particularly frustrating games, I think, for Todd Martin. The first game when he served and there, he had 3 chances to break there, didn't take them. He's got to be more positive.
Yep, concur, Jerry. And of the two players, immediately Agassi looks much the cooler. And I mean cooler because of the heat of today. It's still hot, it's a beautiful day. Todd Martin shows the heat and doesn't enjoy it. In fact, he virtually collapsed in his match with Rafter in the Davis Cup up in Boston, where it was boiling. He did collapse at the Australia semi-final in Washington a couple of years ago. He collapsed at the opening ceremony.
He's played 2 good points. He's moving a bit better here.
Yeah, this is a really beautiful half volley here down the line. Perfect. Can actually see a mark sometimes on these courts, and players like to go and peer at it.
Got to be careful. He mustn't lapse back into this rather overcautious mood at the back of the court. He was 40-love up in the third game when Agassi ended up breaking him. But I think that's Norman's best game so far, and that should cheer him up a bit. 3-2, Agassi leads first set. Well, that was a new tactic. I don't know whether it was a very good idea, though.
Immensely difficult to hit an accurate lob off a low attacking shot like Agassi played. Well, the net was very kind to Todd Martin here. Sometimes it rebounds at an incredible height or angle. Very tight nets here.
40, 50.
He stretched his lead to 4-2 in the first set.
Agassi leads 4-2.
Martin had he more or less admits, a rather seminal experience when he beat Rosetsky here. Rosetsky 3 times, had him cold. Martin wasn't quite sure in that match, particularly after his Davis Cup troubles in Boston, wasn't quite sure that he could manage to overcome the debilitating effect of a stomach virus that night, and he did. And he said it was very important for him.
That's the first wrong footing play we've had.
Well, Martin's got his mother and his girlfriend and sister here. His mother only came down just for the final. Last time she saw him play was in that Davis Cup tie in Boston, where he nearly collapsed. She didn't enjoy that at all. That's a wonderful instinctive volley. Half volley off the toes.
Absolutely perfect volley, this. Firm wrist needed. Just hold it there and deflect the ball in the right direction.
Agassi, I think, was ready to walk the umpire's chair.
He was.
She didn't.
Yeah, he was. The eyebrows went up. Oh, I'm still in it.
That was smart. Play the volley behind Agassi, who leads 4-3 in the first set.
Agassi leads 4-3. Ball change.
Made him rush a bit there. That's a good idea.
Yes, he was. I think he's got to do that as often as possible. Wait for the second serve from Agassi. Relatively slow, 87 miles an hour. Relatively short. Chop it back. Frighten Agassi into an error, which he did then. He's very quick, Todd Martin, very sporting, to acknowledge another player's good shot. He did that often against Ruzetsky in the early stages when Todd Martin was virtually out of the match anyway.
Highly efficient is Agassi today. He has a lead here, 5-3. Highly efficient at serving wide to Martin, exposing his lack of mobility. Obviously isn't a ballet dancer, this fellow as tall as this. And serve wide to him. That opens up the court straight away. He has to lunge.
Third time he's had a bad toss of the ball.
That was silky.
Yeah, good smash by him, pedaling backwards and to his left. It's much safer then to smash in the direction he did rather than try and drag it to the forehand.
I've little doubt he's begun to get his range. I think he's settled down. Trouble is, he dropped his serve in the opening game, and ever since then it's been catch-up. Very smooth indeed. He's played a couple of much more business-like service games, has Todd Martin. So Agassi's going to serve for the first set on that one break. 5-4 he is. And so here he was at Ruzetsky, 3 times almost down for the count, and yet managed to come back and win.
Well, the classic one, of course, was that Wimbledon semi-final with Mal Washington, where he was, what, 5-1 up final set, poised to go in the final, and lost.
close. Agassi clearly decided that he was going to give the Martin forehand a good old pasting there. Nagged it all the way through, and in the end it proved to be a good idea. Had to make a return there. Agassi has a set point. This is his first. Another bad return. His returns haven't been good enough. And Agassi takes the first set in 37 minutes on one break of serve, right at the start.
Well, I'm quite sure, you know, if Todd Martin had won the toss, he would have elected to serve. His first serve percentage, as fact, has been very good, Todd Martin. 2/3 of them going in, 65%. That's about 10% better than Agassi's achieved. But then he's only 5'11". Todd Martin's 6'6".
One double fault each. Jose Higueras on the left, who's his long-time friend and helps coach. His main coach on the right there in the brown hat. Dean Goldfine's his name.
Well, this is good tactics by Todd Martin, and a beautiful volley where he, like a sponge, he sucks in the pace of the shot. Good hands on the racket there. You see it sliding under the ball slightly, give control. Perfect attempt to pass there by Agassi. The wrist not so flexible on the forehand volley, particularly if you get it a bit late.
Oh, a bit lucky to get away with that, but that's the sort of service game that Martin would wanted, of course, to have opened the match with. Instead, he dropped his serve. This time, that was better.
Agassi, first time he's been behind in a set, love one.
Right on the line. Now, a couple more points like that, and he's going to start to believe he can win this match. And Agassi might just become a little cautious. You never know.
That was 120 mph. Just every now and then, Agassi unleashes one a bit faster, keep the opponent guessing. His fastest has been 124. Todd Martin 127.
He's made too many mistakes, has Martin, on that two-hander. It's usually a very solid shot for him, but Agassi's been feeding it with all sorts of different spins, hitting wide. One game all, second set. Agassi leads by 1 set to love. Todd Martin's been saying of Goldfinder's coach that he's been the most patient of friends through the years, put up with all sorts of times when Martin didn't really seem to be responding to what he was saying. He's got enormous respect for him and for Higueras, who's one of the USTA coaches, not full-time, but it's more friendship he has with Higueras. That's why he's up there. There's wonderful rhythm on that serve. He's beginning to settle to that. It won't do his confidence a lot of good that Agassi snapped back. They don't return serves much better than that. They really meant that. Martin's 2-1. Second set. Agassi's 1 set to love.
Well, Agassi had to take a bit of a risk here to hammer it somewhere because this enormous man was blanketing the net. Had to rely on hitting it very hard and getting an error.
He's trying to get in, and he's not having a lot of success in this game. I'm sure the idea is the right one.
Yeah, but there's not much point in going to the net unless you're very secure on the approach shot. That is the prerequisite.
That was a quick serve. That's 2 games all. No break yet in the second set. And Agassi quite restrained, nothing flamboyant at all.
Well, here's a graphic coming up that they haven't showed us before. This is showing where the first serves are being hit by the server, and you can see from that in the juice court, the left court. Goodbye graphic. Just had time to see that Todd Martin was serving most of his first serves from this court down the middle, 64%.
I don't think he's won too many points when he's just stood back and been prepared to trade shots from the baseline with Agassi. That was an important encouragement, I think, for Martin.
Yes, he hit the ball well here.
That's where his lack of flexibility shows. Bit wooden.
Yes, he hasn't got that touch. I wouldn't say he's the man with the softest hands in the game.
Dependable, solid, typical of the man. Martin leads 3-2 in the second set. Agassi got 1 set to love. Well, he played it very well. The crowd had decided he'd push the volley, and it hadn't worked. It worked very well indeed.
Possibly to his own surprise here, because it was a push volley. Excellent smash. Seems to favour smashing to the backhand. Agassi ought to remember that. Todd Martin is beginning to look actually quite dangerous here. That hit the outside of the line. 2-3, 30 all.
But those are the points you have to win. And there was real snap about that serve. And some diffidence, I thought, about the return. So Agassi has a point here to be 3-all. Two good serves he produced. Another, once again, he served really wide to Martin, made him reach, grope for the return. Yes, against Rosetsky, there was a bit of spite on the court at one stage, Bill, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, Rosetsky absolutely had a point. The umpire was not keeping to the time limit of 25 seconds. That was favouring Martin. The crowd were applauding every time Greg served a serve into the net. That was in favour of Martin. And a few other things as well. I was absolutely with Greg, who was quoted afterwards as saying the umpire did a terrible job. Well, he did for Greg out there. I must say it was a very, very one-sided crowd, and I thought umpire as well there.
One-sided umpire, there might have been one-sided crowd. I like one-sided crowds.
Yeah, so do I, within reason, but when it becomes unsporting and they start cheering and making a noise during a serve and clapping loudly for a fault, it's not on. I mean without any intervention from the umpire. Quiet, please.
No doubt Martin's playing a much more solid second set. This is him at, I would have thought, quite near his best now. Good deal of security about the way he's playing now. Typical of the man. So polite. Well left. Shows he's fairly calm. That's the fitness trainer there you saw there, Agassi's, Martin's fitness trainer.
He's resorting, Jerry, to the one-handed backhand rather more often than I would have thought necessary. I mean, that was more or less in his hitting zone, Todd Martin. Yet he just plopped it back, more or less one-handed.
Sideline to sideline, never letting him settle, Martin. Obvious tactic. Each of them knows everything about the other, the way they play, the shots they can hit, the shots that are vulnerable. And the match is being watched with a sort of subdued impartiality. It was obviously going to happen. America's not going to pick a favourite here when two of their own sons are playing. 4 games all. Now this needs to be a good service game here by Martin. No break in this set yet. Second set.
I was just going to say there's a tenseness about this particular game on Todd Martin that there hasn't been leading up to it. Dropping this might well mean he is 2 sets to love down.
Oh, that was edgy. That really was edgy.
That was just out. It was really tough on Todd Martin, this, because it looked as though it was heading to be a perfect volley until that.
Feeling for that ball. Unlike Agassi to miss a chance like that. He wasn't going to miss that. And this is Brad Gilbert up there, Agassi's coach.
Gosh, there was some venom in that backhand from Agassi. Just crunched Martin's racket.
It's like a snake. Knew exactly when to bite. Had to be adventurous and brave there. Because 15-40 down at 4-all. Round about here, if Agassi breaks Martin, I don't know, that could just be about the heart of the match.
Well, both those 2 break points showed great match play courage by Todd Martin. Good, safe, controlled aggression from him.
It appeared not Martin to have heard the let.
No, I thought I hit the line.
That's called brilliant judgment. If you get it wrong, you're called an idiot. He played those break points. I agree with Bill very stoutly indeed. There was the man himself summed up there, and he's 5-4 in the second set. 4-5. That was a good free swing of the racket there by Martin.
Yes, and he accelerated into that forehand, which caught Agassi by surprise.
And now, what have we here? Agassi 4-5, love 30.
Yeah, this is a very good return of serve, a rising ball there. Acres of space, it seems.
15-40. 4-5, second set. Now, the horizon changes right here.
15-40.
Well, perhaps it does. I don't know how Martin's family feel.
What an answer. 123 miles per hour, straight down the middle.
30-40.
Well, there you are. Matches are won and lost at moments like these. 2 chances he had. You have to say that he was bold. Certainly was Martin on the second one, but the ball's got to go over the net and in.
Advantage Agassi.
These players are human. Face break point, and you serve an ace. Get to the safety and the cushion of game point, and you serve a double.
He simply hasn't come up with shots when he's had the chances.
Advantage Agassi.
And the whole final, I'm sure, hinges about here.
Game Agassi.
That's really going to hurt Todd Martin. For 60 seconds, about 60 seconds in that game, he had hope at last, and his spirits would have risen.
5 games off.
Who came up with the goods? Not Martin, Agassi.
Yeah, separates the men from the boys, doesn't it? Ah, here's our graphic again. I wonder how long it'll stay this time. Now then, this is where Todd Martin's directional serve profile is. Oh gosh, too many figures to... Lord, look at it. You work that out.
I'll leave it with you, Bill. You're not a man of the age of the .com, William, are you?
I heard they don't show that again, I tell you. Just had time to read the heading and goodbye.
Decent man, deserves a bit of luck like that. And the impression is that Todd Martin hasn't brooded over those 2 chances, those 2 set points in the last game.
Yeah, well, Agassi's going to think, when's my turn coming? That's his second dead net cord in this match. Agassi hasn't had one as yet.
Correction from the chair there. It bothered Agassi. We're going to play the point again. Well, outside edge, I think.
Yes, I think so. It would appear so from the chair anyway. Who's sitting down a bit beyond that on the left. Well, yeah, I think so.
Big heavy serve there. Todd Martin's 7th ace. And it goes 6-5 up. Here, Martin. Yep. Wonderful sportsmanship. Yeah, that's the way he should do it. I think people who are on his side, on Todd Martin's side, would like to have seen him start the match like that. But, you know, you probably plan it that way. But it is the final of the US Open. You are going to be nervous. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the game. Not playing the big points with any assurance.
He doesn't always handle that slice serve medium pace in the right court, to the right court, very comfortably. The ball always going away from his body towards his forehand side.
This game's about the big points, as they call them. Some people think all the points are worth the same. That's not true. Agassi's playing the big points, the better. Do you agree, Bill?
Yes. Would I disagree with you?
Yes.
You're right. Now then, tie break.
Little fellow, I think, stepped up a gear. He's got his dander up here.
This year, their tie-break records are as follows. Agassi, not so many. 110, lost 7. Todd Martin, 123, lost 13. So they're both doing okay. They both win more than they lose. But it wasn't in the US Open final.
The way to play him, if your name's Martin.
This is a very good volley coming up from Todd Martin. Firm wrist there, just deflecting the racket, deflecting the ball off the racket there. Beautiful.
2-1 Agassi.
You just feel, don't you, that if it's going to be decided on ground shots, Agassi's are the more reliable. I would have thought by some margin.
Yeah, slightly. He's making very little, hardly any desire to get to the net, Agassi. I think he should perhaps be mixing it up a bit more.
That was wonderful. It was wonderful, and it's 3-1 for Agassi.
Well, I don't know what the equivalent, American equivalent, Legion of Merit is it? Equivalent of the Victoria Cross, but to smash at that pace from the back of the court, just an unbelievable shot.
You see there, it's a gentle enough breeze. Not significant, I don't think. That's as good a point as Martin's played in the match.
Brad Gilbert, actually looking pensive. Todd Martin is the one who is going behind his opponent, more than Agassi has tried to do. Very good shot indeed. He crosses over at 3-all. What a difference to crossing over at 2-4 down.
Agassi. Made Martin look quite slow.
What an important tiebreak this is, and we're reaching the really important points from now on, when dropping just 1 point could be curtains. That was an absolutely immaculate serve and volley.
Oh, there are two in a row. This is the way his supporters, Todd Martin's supporters, would like to have seen him play right from the start. But you've got to get the first serve really going in with penetration. Now it's starting to happen.
If anything, this one even better. And it's brought him to a situation where if Agassi drops the next point, Martin will have a couple of set points.
Well, that was very intelligent indeed by Martin. Suddenly to throw up the sort of nothing ball there. It took away Agassi's chance to have a ball he could really clout, confused him.
6-4, Martin.
And Martin's got set points.
And he's got to this position by remembering that going behind the opponent, he's going to win a point. Now this is the big point on the Martin serve.
Well, none. Well, it was a first-class serve. That's been a wonderful spell by Todd Martin from about 4-all in this tie-break. He played inspired tennis. He hit the ball beautifully, served well. He was confident enough to come in and play really good volleys. Perfect timing, putting the ball away, and he's made it 1-all.
Well, he really did show there what a dangerous, dangerous man he is when he's in the attacking vein. Agassi not really doing anything wrong, and he couldn't produce the goods when it really mattered towards the end of that tie-break. And Todd Martin did.
Agassi was surprised by that. He thought the ball was out.
Well, he's not alone, so did I. We're looking right down that line. It's unprofessional not to play the... Well... When's it bouncing? That's the point.
Might be a bit rattled. It'll be just the moment for Martin to strike. Yeah, Agassi loved 30 here at the start of the third set. Agassi got himself back, but here's the break point. It will be exactly the moment for Martin to consolidate his success in the tie-break.
Well, he's had 6 chances now, Todd Martin, to break, and failed on all of them. Agassi's had 3 chances and accepted 1.
Advantage Agassi.
Only his 4th ace. That was close. Vitally important for whoever won it, and Agassi won it. So at 1-all, Agassi leads 1-love.
40, 50.
Oh, quite a nimble bit of footwork by Todd Martin required here to get it before the ball dropped below the height of the net. Agassi is pretty good, stretch wide on the forehand, better than Todd Martin is, I think, wide on that side. Slightly more flexible wrist.
That's his best shot, a lot of people think, two-hander down the line, and that shows that he's gaining in confidence on it. One game all. Nothing, no histrionics in this match, nothing flashy. Two American players playing each other and showing respect for the game and for each other. Agassi coming in. I wonder what that meant.
Love 50.
You wanted to see more of this, didn't you?
Yes, but from his point of view, he didn't want to see any more of that. That might well deter him coming in a bit.
Love 30.
Agassi's going to have to play like that. Twice now he's come to the net, so he's taking more chances. And he's got to do that because Martin is playing now, I think, at just about his best.
Oh, he's playing very, very well at this stage, Todd Martin. And Agassi is going to have to risk a bit.
I think that's a sign of something happening in Agassi. There's a greater urgency there when he starts playing forehand drive volleys, which is one of his show-off shots. He leads 2-1. What we have here is a man looking relaxed at last, Todd Martin. He's level pegging now in this final.
50.
And until this builds up to another little crisis, another little climax, we're not going to know whether Martin quite has the calm nerve to win the really important points. So this is a lull before another bit of drama.
30.
Well, I think he showed us towards the end of that tiebreak. I mean, there couldn't be more important points than that for him, and he came through in style. He's looking very dangerous, serving well, volleying well.
Yeah, they are spraying. in the borough of Queens, and this is taken from the blimp above us or somewhere around us.
There's that play again, which he's using increasingly well, going behind Agassi.
It's 11th ace, and it's not just the scores that are level, it's a level match now, completely level match, and Martin is playing with growing assurance.
This is a wonderful shot. Agassi having to check himself there and then steer that down the line in a hurry. Applauded there, you see, by Todd Martin. Well, another indication there that Martin is thinking very coolly indeed. It's his first attempt at a drop shot from way back, so it was well played.
Still those wide serves. That's the way Agassi's picking up so many points on his serve. 3-2 he leads.
Well, he's in a zone at the moment with the serving, as indeed he was against Rosetsky the other night, when he just served ace after ace after ace. And if they weren't aces, they were first serves in.
Martin doesn't like those. Big men never like that. Those fancy little shots around your ankles.
Yeah, it was a little bit late coming in for that, so the ball was quite low, quite close to the net.
That was the second volley in this game that Martin's made a hash of. The really bad one was the 15 love point. bit too casual over that one.
This is strange. I haven't seen Todd Martin do these missed tosses before. That's 6 he's done now.
That's a signal point, I think, for Todd Martin to win. To stay with Agassi like that from the back of the court, and in the end out-rally him. There's another point for 4-2.
Suddenly, after I praised his serving, he suddenly missed his first serves.
Deuce. Advantage Martin.
And Martin has kept wonderfully strong mentally in that game. Two chances for Agassi. Really good one, I thought, for Martin was when he just stayed at the back, and his ground shots were under better control than Agassi's. Not often you would say that when these two play. That's 3 games all. And they're beginning to approach the danger zone of this third set. Agassi has a lead of 4 games to 3. They're 1 set all.
Oh, my God, could have killed him.
Sorry, mate.
Could have killed him. Straight over him. Actually, he ducks below the parapet here a bit, doesn't he, Todd? Yeah, let's get out of this. Yes, I'm out of this.
Oh, wouldn't you have done? Can't see you standing up at this moment, Bill.
Well, oh.
Make good Davis Cup teammates. Well, I wonder if that unsettled him. I think it probably did. It would unsettle me too.
Be lucky to have survived. Lucky there was a trench for him to dive into. This is dangerous for Martin now. 3-4 down, love 30.
That was his best half volley. Mind you, thinking back to that point, I don't really think Mrs. Martin is going to send Agassi a birthday card, do you?
Doubt it. Does very well here. If that was the benefit of soft hands, doesn't try to do too much. Lucky for him, it didn't bounce higher.
At his best, he gets those.
30.
I can hardly remember in the entire match Agassi going behind Todd Martin. Certainly very little. And there was a chance too then. Incredibly secure off the ground, Martin, in that point. And this is something else when he starts outlasting Agassi.
Listen, considering that Agassi is such a favourite in America, well, everywhere he goes, he's such a wonderful entertainer. There are lots and lots of people behind Martin at the moment here and making themselves heard. Well, that's He-Man tennis by Martin. Takes him to 4-all. And all's fair in love and war, isn't it? That shot.
Magnificent picture, isn't it? From our friendly blimp up there, which is about to put its lights on and float around overhead, because the lights are on around the stadium here as it gradually turns into night. 4-all.
Some of the crowd getting involved there because they thought that shot from Agassi was long.
Well, I did too. It just shows how wrong we can all be, doesn't it? No complaint at all from Martin.
Two points for 5-4. Thirds up. 5-4, Agassi leads. And it's getting very tense out here now in this third set.
He's had a very good year, Todd Martin. He's won Sydney early in the year. He's runner-up in Estoril on clay. I mean, that's terrific. Semi-final 3 times, quarter-final 4 times. Big, big tournaments. Not as good as Agassi, but he's had a lot of good tennis, and he's showing it here. He's got to hold this, or he's 2 sets to 1 down.
He's got almost perfect rhythm on his serve. That's a 16th AC serve. He's way ahead of Agassi in that regard, at least. Just 5 to Agassi. Yes, and while that rhythm persists, he'll feel more and more comfortable with himself, and this becomes that much more difficult for Agassi to unravel. 1 set all, 5 games all.
Pretty quick for Agassi. That's equals his fastest of this match, 124. Todd Martin was looking eagerly up as he played that shot. A bit like my golf, looking up too early.
Two love games in succession. It takes Agassi to 6-5. There's another tie-break looming. Looks like that.
Martin serving to take it into a tie-break, 5-6. He's indulging in his usual talkathon. He's got to talk, 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 Brad Gilbert.
I don't know what to say about that. That was not a very good attempted pass there by Agassi, well below his standard.
Yes, he sort of snatched at it. I think he's been rocked a bit by the excellence of the Todd Martin performance.
Well, he tucked that volley away quite beautifully. Different man, altogether different man.
30, 15.
And once again, persisting with the going behind tactic. He's obviously made up his mind to do that anyway, and it's absolutely working. It's that forehand side which is a little bit more suspect than the backhand. Excellent play here, and it's Martin who's commanding the scene, really, standing in the middle and making Agassi run from side to side. Here's a point for the tiebreak.
And the tiebreak it is, just as the second set was resolved by a tiebreak. Agassi led 3-1 and 4-3 in the second set tiebreak before Martin took it by 7 points to 5. This is to take a 2-1 lead. Couldn't be more crucial. Two-0, Martin.
2-0.
This is very good by Martin. Let in, mind you, by Agassi on that first point, the double fault.
3-0.
Brad Gilbert himself there, a master of how to play a tiebreak.
Another good return took Agassi completely by surprise. Martin seems to have this now.
4-0.
Oh, he just played terrific shots in all 4 points. He's gambling a bit, but he's gambling under control.
4-1.
Well, Todd Martin now with 2 service points, Jerry, can build himself 5 set points if he wins them both.
Well, there was no doubt at all that Agassi was going to snap back. His instinct is always to hit out, a bit like the Williams sisters. They play like that. Their instinct is to hit. If you're in trouble, hit harder. And Agassi was reminded of that, and he's spoken about it here when he played in the French Championships. On the centre court, he played Moya in the first week, and Moya got a break early on, and Agassi said to himself, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to go out hitting as hard as I can. And that's his creed. 4-2. It was rushed a bit. 5-2.
5-2.
Well, it needed a good look at the line here, this shot, which we missed.
(6-2) Martin. That means 4 set points to take a lead of 2-1.
6-2.
After he'd been so unsure, so groping at the start of the match, and Agassi did the damage. There was just out. He hit, missed by an inch, and not too many people thought that we were going to be in this situation in this match. 2-1. Todd Martin leads by having taken that tie break by 7 points to 2. Fourth set. Confidence is growing all the time.
30.
And why not? He's got 2 sets to play with to win this title, so he might as well have a go in this set. It shows how confident he was. I know it was a fault, but it was second serve, 111 miles an hour.
Look at the depth of his hitting. Completely uninhibited.
40.
Yes, just inside the baseline. Just inside the baseline.
Well, apart from the blemish of the double fault, that was very, very sound and confident game. And I would think Agassi's got to have some quick thinking down here now. Martin 1-love.
Well, finally Agassi goes behind Todd Martin, but he hardly had any option there, so that was really logical. Well, this is not in the script at all. Now it's Martin crunching service returns back.
One game all, fourth set.
One game.
And he's got to do something to unsettle Martin. Martin's in a wonderful rhythm. His confidence has blossomed. But I'm afraid I'm churlish enough to say that he is not unknown to find it very difficult to capitalise on winning leads.
15. Love. Left. 13. Love.
Agassi holding his ground here, expecting it to his backhand. Good shot.
Agassi's got to find more of those on return of serving and passes. He's really got to start stinging soon.
40.
He just can't get near some of these. That's 21 aces. This is almost like Krychek the other night. How many did he serve?
48. He really is audacious, because that comes off, I think, the very tip of the racket. Therefore, it would have a bit of backspin on it. Therefore, it'd be standing there, hovering in front of Agassi. Smacks it away.
Now, hazard lights for Martin, perhaps. He's another big serve. Break point. Here it is for Agassi. He's got to produce soon now. Would be just the moment.
Advantage Agassi.
Martin double faults 5. That was the costliest, or it could be. It's out, 'tis out. There's the break. And now you feel it begins perhaps to shape towards the 5th set. It's the early days though. Agassi, having won the first set, then went 2 sets to 1 down, now has a break in the 4th set, leads to 1.
Love. 15.
This is aggressive hitting, it really is, by Martin.
Well, he's just getting better and better off the ground.
Love 30.
I think that's the thing that must astonish Agassi more than anything else, is that he's not winning these ground stroke exchanges.
Agassi.
3-1. Agassi leads in the fourth set.
Agassi leads 3-1.
You know, the quality of Martin's ground stroking we've both commented on over the last two sets. You gave some of his best results this year. That included a win in Estoril. That's on clay, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I played on those courts. They're slow clay, beautiful courts, but for him to go there and beat all those Spanish and other European clay courters was really extraordinary. That's got to send a message to the rest of the players about his ground strokes, you know. Point like that is the exact reversal of roles here, because this is what Agassi is supposed to be so good at, getting his opponent very wide and then just pushing away an easy volley into the open space. No wonder he looks pop-eyed here and awestruck, I think, at Martin's performance.
Just gliding around now. His mind, I think, for the last hour has been closed to all the peripheral things. He's just concentrating on the match. Lovely to be as relaxed as that. To be as relaxed as this and yet to be mentally sharp. That's the perfect balance.
Agassi leads
3-2 Agassi. Still with the break.
15.
No doubt in my mind that Agassi's cranking himself up. He has to. The pace at which he's been playing the match since the first set against, at that time, a diffident Todd Martin, the pace has not been blazing enough. Agassi has to blaze, surely.
Yes, he's an inspirational type player, isn't he? Feeds off the crowd, feeds off his own emotions.
Now, all service games are absolutely crucial here. And the first point in a service game is always especially important. This will be a good moment for Agassi to have another crack at him, get 2 breaks up. It doesn't need Martin to falter, to lose his rhythm and confidence.
Yeah, well, I think he needs that insurance break, quite honestly. I mean, Martin's been serving and playing so well that one service break doesn't really seem very comfortable. Jerry, the most incredible statistic of all is this one. Volley winners. Todd Martin, 18. Andre Agassi, none.
Missed some first serves in this game, the last 2 points, but the second serves were absolutely spot on. There's still just the one game in it. Agassi 4-3.
Now then, that 0 under his name for volley winners finally moves to 1. Now that really doesn't imply that he's given too much thought to going forward.
They won't get that.
Well, wonderful diagonal lob there. Absolutely the right shot.
But the whole approach by Martin on that point showed just how aggressive he is now, going in forcing returns. Another one.
30-15.
He's hitting the ball so well. He's got such good timing. He's so confident now that even if Agassi wanted to get in or wanted really to get after him, he simply can't do so.
Well, I think Agassi's plugging away to the very strong two-handed backhand too often. He's hitting winners all over the place from that side. That for once was a careless shot, bearing in mind the situation. But he actually only needs 3 more games to win the match.
He's moving too so much better to those wide shots.
When good tennis players move well, they normally play well. He is moving much more smoothly than before. I imagine he's feeling very fit now, after all his problems.
Advantage, Martin.
Now this is Martin's chance to cancel out Agassi's break, which he got in the third game. And then he could start thinking about, I could win this soon. I think he probably was thinking about it. It's not a bad thing to forget about.
Well, he's so close. I mean, he must realise, surely, if he'd won that point, he's only got to win 2 more games, and he's got the US Open title.
Advantage, Agassi.
Well, that's Agassi, a chancer.
Deuce.
This is Todd Martin's second chance to break. And that would level the scores here in the 4th set at 4-all.
Advantage, Martin.
A thing he has conspicuously failed to do throughout this match.
Now he's got to make the return on this point. But now, was that shot called out? I think it was, or wasn't it?
Deuce.
It was. Oh, the family found that hard to take, wouldn't you? And there's some booing. Ooh, the ball was out.
Yeah. So, good call. It shows how you can be wrong from a different angle, doesn't it?
Advantage Agassi.
Poor Brad Gilbert, tying his legs up in knots there, anguished. And for once in his life, he is actually not engaged in his talkathon.
Well, his ground shots let him down, really. Not the returns. He was returning well. But Agassi was about an inch. No more. It was about an inch there from losing that game, dropping his serve and letting Martin back in. And he would let him back in into a position which Martin really could have made one last surge and gone for the title. But it's 5-3. 3-5. And Martin has to hold his serve here, or it is 5 sets.
Really not returning serve nearly as well as he should and could.
Well, I thought this is Martin just about stretched the limit here.
Brilliant volley. Easier way to go across the lowest part of the net there, going behind Agassi. Brilliant volley nevertheless.
Now,
well, I think this touches the line. Haven't heard a call as yet, so sure it's good. Yes, it is. And it brings up set point for 2 sets all.
oh no, that's out. 2 sets all it is. It's really been a real battle, this. It didn't start too promisingly. There was too much of Agassi, who was full of chirpy ideas. Todd Martin walked on. Really, you felt too tentative, wasn't prepared to take risks and hit the ball hard at the start, and then went 2 sets to 1 up, and now this is a rare scrap. 2 hours and 55 minutes. 1999 US Open final, all American, and this is the 5th set. And Martin immediately shows his intent. He's grown so much in confidence He knows, he knew before he went on that he had to attack the Agassi serve. He had to get to the net. But he's a different man now from 3 hours ago.
There's a new spring in Agassi's step.
Oh!
Well, Jerry, we're not going to see all of that point again because it was absolutely chock full of brilliance, that. One shot in particular from this man, a hooked forehand, played late behind him. I wonder if this is going to be it. No, it's not. But I thought Martin was brilliant. So was Agassi, but Martin finished it off. What a shot. What a point.
Agassi in a hurry. Agassi wants to really stir himself up, you feel. He leads 1-love at the start of the final set. And Martin's, I think, has got to sort of face him out here.
He must be the more tired of the two men, not only in this match, which has been on court, as you see, for 3 hours, but also because he's been on court for longer during the tournament, about a couple of hours extra. Particularly that totally draining physical and mental match with Greg Rosetsky. Heavy despair there setting in. Key points.
Yes, Agassi is beginning to blaze. And that's 2-love.
And that reply there from Agassi to mean that Todd Martin drops that serve to love is a very definite statement of intent, isn't it? And there's been a huge change now in the fortunes of this match.
Clever shot by Agassi, a little dink. Made it difficult for Martin to get down to that. The ball was just below the height of the net. You're not supposed to coach.
I think he's just yelling support, you know, he knows the rules. I must say he looks a bit less stricken than he did before. Aha. All sorts of things are happening now with these two players that have not happened before. Agassi going behind the man and so on.
Agassi with the break. Final set, 2-love, 30-love. Agassi on a burn. Can Martin contain him? There's a fever now about Agassi's tennis. Love game. Agassi can't get to the chair quickly enough. Agassi has the momentum. And Agassi 3-love, and it's the final set. He's doing everything right in this service game. And that's what he's got to do. He's got to hold his service games with real authority. And then he's got to have a crack at Agassi. Because it would be completely out of character for Agassi to give it away. Look at his eyes. Love game to Martin. So far so good for him. 3-1 Agassi.
It's only a single break of serve, you know, the thing is far from over as far as Martin is concerned. He's got a tough battle on and he knows it, and he reacted very well in that service game.
Got to be positive, has Todd Martin, particularly on Agassi's service. He's got to attack the serve. He's got to take chances. He's got to be aggressive.
It's an awfully good serve, 111 miles an hour, but going diagonally, which is not a true reading. If that had been going straight, it might have been his fastest.
Family looked bothered. Well, he didn't quite time that. That's right. Call. We couldn't hear the call because the crowd are being noisy. Agassi still sprinting around the court. And he's got a lead of 4-1. It'll be difficult to stop now. There's the prize. And for both of them, I suspect, I know for Martin because I asked him, this is the one they want most. Wimbledon's wonderful. But as Todd Martin said, with no disrespect to the other Grand Slams, I'd like to win this in front of my own people, my own international championship.
Well, if he loses, he's put on a pretty heroic attempt. That was quite tricky. Agassi hasn't had the best of luck with the net courts, and yet Todd Martin that had a double net court.
I think Martin's doing the right thing, but there's an element of death or glory about it.
Seeing it again, I feel he was just a little bit slow to go there. Almost seemed to take his racket back without lunging. He must feel a bit tired. He must do. And he looks it. Still called lawn tennis on the cups, isn't it?
Yes, even though the Americans dug up the grass here, what was it, about 15 years ago, was it, or more than that? I mean, here in New York, not here at Flushing Meadow. It's always been on this surface since they moved here from about, what's it, 5 miles away from Forest Hills, but even there they'd played on clay for a couple of years.
Yep.
Now, this is a ragged sequence of points here. One for 30 all, fifth set. It's all about mental and physical stamina at this point. 3¼ hours now. On the line. 4-2. Agassi in the lead in the fifth set.
Agassi leads 4-2.
That really was a remarkable volley, that final shot. Sort of spooned it over, broke most of the rules in the book. See what he thinks about it. But it went in, Todd. Be positive. Or did he hurt his arm?
Oh, that sort of swung at the last minute. I think it was a very slight mishit.
I think so too.
Well, not a murmur out of him. I mean, that if that was out, it was just about out by a cigarette paper's width.
He's hitting right to the limit of the courts again.
Well, he's been unfortunate. You can't say he hasn't gone for it.
Wonderful picture of the moon.
Not a love game to Agassi. And his lead builds now to 5-2. And it's difficult to believe he's not going to win again. 3 hours and 18 minutes. An All-American final that perhaps didn't promise for the rest of the world so much. In fact, has proved wonderfully competitive, and much of the credit for that goes to Todd Martin here, who now at 2-5 has to hold his serve, or for the third time in his life he'll have been a beaten finalist in a Grand Slam final.
Well, finally Agassi, just when he really doesn't need it so much, gets a lucky net cord. That must be a dagger in Todd Martin's heart.
Oh dear, oh dear, it's all here, it's all here. And let me just correct myself, it'll be only the second time that he'll have lost in the final of a Grand Slam, not the third time. And Agassi has been irrepressible in this final set. Got 3 points to the US Open Championship again. He's done it. It's taken him 5 years since the first time he won it, and he came through deep waters in this match. He really did. He won the first set, but then Martin played above himself. It was a superb recovery by Martin. As a match, it's been a wonderful advertisement for the sportsmanship of these two American players. It took 3 hours and 23 minutes, and you can hear what America thinks about it.
And what we think about it. Agassi goes through his ritual of thanking the 4 sides of the crowd. It's a nice ritual. He means it. They love it. He's come through a tough match, 2 sets to 1 down, not playing all that well, not being allowed to play all that well by Todd Martin. An inspired performance by him, really. You felt he was fading at the end, and he did, but all credit to both men. A terrific final.
Agassi has now won 35 of his last 39 matches, which include the titles at the French at Roland Garros and at Washington. And he was in the final at Wimbledon, and now he's won the US Open. And he's been really the star attraction all the way through.
Wherever he goes, Jerry, he is the star attraction. I mean, it matters not if Sampras, Rafter, all the other stars of the men's game are playing. Agassi is, he's got a certain magic. I know people love to see him, and why not? He's very exciting. But he jolly nearly got put away in this match by a really good performance by the other American, Martin.
Well, he's having his second flowering as a champion at the very highest level. Don't forget, by winning the French this year, he joined Emerson, Laver, Budge and Perry. These are champions, they really are, as the only men to win all 4 Grand Slam championships.
It's now my pleasure to introduce the Vice President and General Manager of Infinity Division, Mr. Tom Orby, to present the runner-up check. Tom?
Thanks, Tony. On behalf of Infinity and all its dealers and all our customers across the U.S., we'd like to present a check in the amount of $420,000 to Todd Martin. Thank you. Thank you very much. A truly heroic championship play. Thank you. You were terrific.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States Tennis Association, Judy Levering, who will present a trophy to the runner-up, Todd Martin. Judy?
Todd, the USTA is so proud of your performances these past 2 weeks. I consider it a real privilege to present to you the Runners-Up Award in recognition of those performances. Congratulations, Todd.
Todd, congratulations. Fabulous tournament and a great final. You just came up a tad short, but you certainly don't have anything to be ashamed of.
No, I don't, but it was more than a tad short. I can't take my hat off more. I took it off in the first set, but Andre, you played great. You deserve it. I couldn't think of a better way to go out than to play a great match against a great champion.
Todd Martin, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd also like to thank Dean Goldfine, Jose Higueras, Rick Furman, Tom Gullickson, Paul Torricelli, my mother, my sister, my girlfriend Amy. I love you all. Thank you.
All right, Todd. And Tom, you have a check for our winner?
Yes, we do. For the best player in the world, a check in the amount of $750,000 from Infinity to Andre Agassi, a true champion. Thank you. Great job.
Andre, all that work is paid off for you. You've won the French finals at Wimbledon. U.S. Open champion for the second time. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I tell you what, how can you ask for anything better than two Americans in the finals of the U.S. Open playing a great 5-set match? I tell you what, something that's important for me to say is, win or lose today, it was truly a privilege and an honor for me to be out here, and this is the greatest times of my life, and I'll never forget New York right here. Thank you.
Judy, you have a trophy for our champion, who tomorrow will be again ranked #1 in the world.
On behalf of all these wonderful fans here and those across the United States and around the world, it is my privilege to present this beautiful trophy to the 1999 U.S. Open men's champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1999 U.S. Open men's singles champion, Andre Agassi.